Act 2 of the Pirates of Penzance. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Pirates of Penzance, or The Slave of Duty, by William S. Gilbert and Sir Arthur Sullivan. Act 2. Scene: a ruined chapel by moonlight. Aisles centre, right, and left, divided by pillars and arches, ruined Gothic windows at back. Major General Stanley discovered seated right centre, pensively surrounded by his daughters.
Oh, dry the glistening tear that dews thy martial cheek. Thy loving children hear, in them thy comfort seek. With sympathetic care their arms around thee grieve. For all they cannot bear to see their father weep. Dear father, why leave your bed at this untimely hour, when happy daylight rested, and darksome dangers lie? Swiftness little lamp, the midnight hour is past. At the chilly night air is damp, and thy dews are falling fast. Dear father, why leave your bed when happy daylight is dead? Oh, dry the glistening tear that dews thy martial cheek. Thy loving children hear, in them thy comfort seek. With sympathetic care their arms around thee grieve. For all they cannot bear to see their father weep.
Frederick enters.
Oh, Frederick, cannot you, in the calm excellence of your wisdom, reconcile it with your conscience to say something that will relieve my father's sorrow?
I will try, dear Mabel. But why does he sit, night after night, in this draughty old ruin?
Why do I sit here? To escape from the pirates' clutches, I described myself as an orphan, and heaven help me, I am no orphan. I came here to humble myself before the tombs of my ancestors, and to implore their pardon for having brought dishonor upon the family escutcheon.
But you forget, sir, you only bought the property a year ago, and the stucco on your baronial castle is scarcely dry.
Frederick! In this chapel are ancestors, you cannot deny that. With the estate, I bought the chapel and its contents. I don't know whose ancestors they were, but I know whose ancestors they are, and I shudder to think that their descendant by purchase, if I may so describe myself, should have brought disgrace upon what, I have no doubt, was an unstained escutcheon.
Be comforted. Had you not acted as you did, these reckless men would assuredly have called in the nearest clergyman, and have married your large family on the spot.
I thank you for your proffered solace, but it is unavailing. I assure you, Frederick, such is the anguish and remorse that I feel at the abominable falsehood by which I escaped these easily deluded pirates, that I would go to their simple-minded chief this very night and confess all. Did I not fear that the consequences would be most disastrous to myself? At what time does your expedition march against these scoundrels?
At 11. And before midnight I hope to have atoned for my involuntary association with the pestilent scourges by sweeping them from the face of the earth. And then, dear Mabel, you will be mine.
Are your devoted followers at hand?
They are. They only await my orders.
Then, Frederick, let your escort lion-hearted be summoned to receive a general's blessing ere they depart upon their dread adventure.
Dear sir, they come.
When the foeman bears his steel, the uncomfortable feel, and we find the wisest thing is to slap our chests and sing for when threatened with immutes, and your heart is in your boots, there is nothing brings it round like the trumpet's martial sound, like the trumpet's martial sound.
Go, ye heroes, go to glory, though ye die in combat glory. Ye shall live in song and story, go to immortality, go to death and go to slaughter. Die and every Cornish daughter with her tears your grief shall water. Go, ye heroes, go and die. Go, ye heroes, go and die. Go, ye heroes, go and die.
Though to us it's evident these attentions are well meant, such expressions don't appear calculated men to cheer, who are going to meet their fate in a highly nervous state. Still to us it's evident these attentions are well meant.
Go and do your best endeavor, and before our links we sever, we will say farewell forever. Go to glory and the grave. Go to glory and the grave. For your foes are fierce and ruthless, false and merciful, and truthless, young and tender, old and toothless, all in aid and mercy crave.
We observe too great a stress on the risks that on us press, and of reference a lack to our chance of coming back. Still, perhaps it would be wise not to carp or criticise, for it's very evident these attentions are well meant.
Yes, it's very evident. These attentions are well meant. Evident. Yes, well meant. Evident.
Ah, yes, well meant. Such expressions don't
Go to death.
go.
These pirates slay.
Ta-da,
Then
ta-da.
do not stay.
Ta-da, ta-da.
Why this delay?
All right, we go. Yes, forward on the flow. Yes, forward on the flow.
Yes, but you don't go.
Hey go, yes, forward on the flow. Yes, forward on the flow.
Yes, but you don't go.
We go, 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 we go.
Exeunt Police. Mabel tears herself from Frederick and exits, followed by her sisters consoling her. The Major General and others follow the police off. Frederick remains alone.
Now for the pirate's lair. Oh, joy unbounded, oh, sweet relief, oh, rapture unexampled. At last I may atone in some slight measure for the repeated acts of theft and pillage, which at a sense of duty's stern dictation I, circumstance's victim, have been guilty.
Young Frederick, your late commander.
And I, your little Ruth. O mad intruders, how dare ye face me? Know ye not, O rash ones, that I have doomed you to extermination?
Have mercy on us. Hear us ere you slaughter.
I do not think I ought to listen to you, yet mercy should alloy our stern resentment. And so I will be merciful. Say on.
When you had left our pirate fold, we tried to raise our spirits faint, according to our custom old, with quip and quibble quaint. But all in vain the quips we heard, we lay and sobbed upon the rocks, until to somebody occurred a stunning paradox.
A paradox.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox, with quips and quibbles heard in flocks, but none to beat this paradox.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. This paradox. We knew your taste for curious quips, for cranks and contradictions queer, and with the laughter on our lips we wished you there to hear. We said if we could tell it him, how Frederick would the joke enjoy, and so we'd risk both life and limb to tell it to our boy.
A paradox,
a most ingenious paradox, with quips and quibbles heard in flocks, but none to beat this paradox. A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. Ha 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 ha, this paradox. For some ridiculous reason, to which, however, I've no desire to be disloyal, some person in authority, I don't know who, very likely the Astronomer Royal, has decided that although for a beastly month as February, 28 days as a rule are plenty, 1 year in every 4 his days shall be reckoned as 9 and 20. Through some singular coincidence, I shouldn't be surprised if it were owing to the agency of an ill-natured fairy. You are the victim of this clumsy arrangement, having been born in leap year on the 29th of February, and so, by a simple arithmetical process, you'll easily discover that though you've lived 21 years, yet, if we go by birthdays, you're only 5 and a little bit over. Ha 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 ho 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 ho.
dear me, let's see. Yes, yes, with yours my figures do agree.
Ha 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 ha.
How quaint the
ways of paradox, at common sense she gaily mocks. Though counting in the usual way, yes, 21 I've been alive. Yet reckoning by my natal day, I am a little boy of 5.
He's a little boy of 5. Ha, 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 ha. That paradox, that most ingenious paradox. Ha, 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 ha. That paradox. Ha, 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 ha. That curious paradox. Ha, 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 ha. That most ingenious paradox.
Ruth and King throw themselves back on seats, exhausted with laughter.
Upon my word, this is most curious, most absurdly whimsical. 5 1/4. No one would think it to look at me.
You are glad now, I'll be bound, that you spared us. You would never have forgiven yourself when you discovered that you had killed 2 of your comrades.
My comrades?
Rises.
I'm afraid you don't appreciate the delicacy of your position. You were apprenticed to us.
Until I reached my 21st year.
No, until you reached your 21st birthday.
Producing document.
And going by birthdays, you are as yet only 5 1/4.
You don't mean to say you are going to hold me to that?
No, we merely remind you of the fact, and leave the rest to your sense of duty.
Your sense of duty.
Wildly.
Don't put it on that footing. As I was merciful to you just now, be merciful to me. I implore you not to insist on the letter of your bond just as the cup of happiness is at my lips.
We insist on nothing. We content ourselves with pointing out to you your duty.
After a pause.
Well, you have appealed to my sense of duty, and my duty is only too clear. I abhor your infamous calling. I shudder at the thought that I have ever been mixed up with it. But duty is before all. At any price, I will do my duty.
Bravely spoken. Come, you are one of us once more.
Lead on. I follow.
Suddenly.
Oh, horror!
What is the matter?
Ought I to tell you? No, I cannot do it. And yet, as one of your band...
Speak out. I charge you by that sense of conscientiousness to which we have never yet appealed in vain.
General Stanley, the father of my Mabel.
Yes.
He escaped from you on the plea that he was an orphan.
He did.
It breaks my heart to betray the honoured father of the girl I adore, but as your apprentice I have no alternative. It is my duty to tell you that General Stanley is no orphan.
What?
More than that, he never was one.
Am I to understand that to save his contemptible life he dared to practice on our credulous simplicity?
Frederick nods as he weeps.
Our revenge shall be swift and terrible. We will go and collect our band and attack Tremorden Castle this very night.
But stay.
Not a word! He is doomed! Away, away, my heart's on fire. I burn this base deception to repay. This very day, my vengeance sire shall glut itself in gore. Away, away.
Away, away, ere I expire, I find my duty hard to do today. My heart is filled with anguish dire, it strikes me to the core. Away, away.
With falsehood foul he tricked us of our bride. Let vengeance howl, the pirate so decides. Our nation's turn he softened with his lies, and in return tonight the traitor dies. Yes, tonight the traitor dies.
Yes, tonight the traitor dies.
Tonight he dies.
It's our early tomorrow.
His girls likewise.
They will welter in sorrow.
The one soft spot
In their natures they cherish.
And all the plot.
to abuse it shall perish. Tonight he dies, yes, so early tomorrow. His girls likewise they will welter in sorrow. The one soft spot in their natures they cherish, and all who plot to abuse it shall perish. Away, 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 tonight the traitor dies. Away, away, tonight, 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 the traitor dies.
exeunt King and Ruth. Frederick throws himself on a stone in blank despair. Enter Mabel.
All is prepared, your gallant crew await you. My Frederick in tears, it cannot be that Lionheart is at the coming conflict.
No, Mabel, no. A terrible disclosure has just been made. Mabel, my dearly loved one, I bound myself to serve the pirate captain until I reached my 21st birthday.
But you are 21.
I've just discovered that I was born in leap year, and that birthday will not be reached by me till 1940.
Oh, horrible! Catastrophe appalling!
And so farewell.
Oh, Frederick, hear me! Stay, Frederick, stay! They have no legal claim. No shadow of a shame will fall upon my name. Stay, Frederick, stay!
Nay, Mabel, nay, tonight I quit these walls. The thought my soul appalls, but when stern duty calls, I must obey.
Stay, Frederick, stay!
Nay, Mabel, nay,
They have no claim.
but duty's name the thought my soul appalls, but when stern duty calls,
Stay, Frederick, stay!
I must obey.
Ah, leave me not to pine alone and desolate. No fate seemed fair as mine, no happiness so great. And nature day by day I'll sing in accents clear this joyous rounding thee. He loves thee, he is here. Fa la la la, fa la la la. He loves thee, he is here. Fa la la la, fa la.
Ah, must I leave thee here in endless night to dream, where joy is dark and drear, and sorrow supreme, where nature day by day will sing in altered tone this weary roundelay. He loves thee, he is gone. Fa la la la, fa la la la. He loves thee, he is here. Fa la 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 la, fa la. In 1940 I of age shall be. I'll then return and claim you, I declare it.
It seems so long.
Swear that till then you will be true to me.
Yes, I'll be strong. By all the Stanleys dead and gone, I swear it.
Oh, here is love, and here is truth, and here is food for joyous laughter. She will be faithful to her sooth till we are wed and ever after. Oh, here is love, and here is truth.
Oh, here is love, and here is truth.
She will be faithful to her
She will
sooth
be faithful to
till
her
we are
sooth.
wed and even after.
Till we are wed,
And even after.
yes, even after.
Oh, here is love, and here is truth, and here is food for joyous laughter.
Frederick rushes to window and leaps out, almost fainting.
Though I am brave, of family descent, how great thy charm, thy sway, how excellent! Come one and all, undaunted men in blue, a crisis now, affairs are coming to.
Though in body and in mind we are timidly inclined and anything but blind to the danger that's behind. Yet when the danger's near, we manage to appear as insensible to fear as anybody here, as anybody here. Ta-ran, ta-ra, 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 ra, ra, ta-ran, ta-ra.
Sergeant, approach. Young Frederick was to have led you to death and glory.
That is not a pleasant way of putting it.
No matter. He will not so lead you, for he has allied himself once more with his old associates.
He has acted shamefully.
You speak falsely. You know nothing about it. He has acted nobly.
He has acted nobly.
Dearly as I loved him before, his heroic sacrifice to his sense of duty has endeared him to me tenfold. But if it was his duty to constitute himself my foe, it is likewise my duty to regard him in that light. He has done his duty. I will do mine. Go ye and do yours.
Exit Mabel.
Righto.
This is perplexing.
We cannot understand it at all.
Still, as he is actuated by a sense of duty, that makes a difference, of course.
At the same time, we repeat, we cannot understand it at all.
No matter. Our course is clear. We must do our best to capture these pirates alone. It is most distressing to us to be the agents whereby our erring fellow creatures are deprived of that liberty which is so dear to us all. But we should have thought of that before we joined the force.
We should.
It is too late now.
It is.
When a felon's not engaged in his employment, or maturing his felonious little plans, his capacity for innocent enjoyment, is just as great as any honest man's. Our feelings we with difficulty smother, when constabulary duties to be done. I take one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not a happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not a happy one. When the enterprising burglar's not a burgling, when the cutthroat isn't occupied in crime, he loves to hear the little brook a-gurgling, and listen to the merry village chime. When the coster's finished jumping on his mother, he loves to lie a-basking in the sun. I take one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not a happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not a happy one.
Chorus of pirates without in the distance.
We who tired of tossing on the sea are trying their hand at a burglary with weapons grim and gory.
Hush, hush! I hear them on the manor poaching. With stealthy step the pirates are approaching.
We are not coming for plate or gold, a story General Stanley told. We seek a penalty 50-fold for General Stanley's story. We seek a penalty 50-fold, we seek a penalty 50-fold. We seek a penalty 50-fold for General Stanley's story.
They come in force with stealthy stride. Our obvious course is now to hide.
With cat-like tread upon our brave we steal, in silence tread upon this way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word, a fly's footfall would be distinctly heard. Ta-da-ta-da, so stealthily the pirate creeps while all the household soundly sleeps. Oh, friends upon the sea, trust to navigation, take another station. Let's hurry piracy with a little burglary. Come, friends upon the sea, trust to navigation, take another station. Let's hurry piracy with a little burglary.
Here's your crowbar and your center bit, your life preserver. You may want to hit your silent matches, your dark lantern sees. Take your file and your skeletonic keys.
With cat-like tread upon our prey we steal, in silence tread our cautious way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word, a fly's footfall would be distinctly heard. Oh, friends upon the sea, trust to navigation, take another station. Let's hurry piracy with ta-da-ta-da-da-da, ta-da-ta-da.
I see a light inside. The Major General comes, so quickly hide.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes. Tormented with the anguished dread of falsehood unatoned, I lay upon my sleepless bed and tossed and turned and groaned. The man who finds his conscience ache no peace at all enjoys. And as I lay in bed awake, I thought I heard a noise.
He thought he heard a noise. Ha!
No, all is still in dale on hill. My mind is set at ease. So still the scene, it must have been the sighing of the breeze. Sighing softly to the river comes the loving breeze, setting nature all a-quiver, rustling through the trees.
Through the trees.
And the brook that the breeze is but a rover when he wings away. Broken poplar mourn a lover sighing, well a day, well a day. The doing and undoing that the rogue could tell, while the breeze is out a-wooing, who can woo so well?
Shocking tales the rose could tell, nobody can woo so well. Pretty brook, thy dream is over, for thy love is but a rover. Stand the autumn of the trees, courted by a fickle breeze. Stand the autumn of the trees, courted by a fickle breeze.
Now what is this and what is that, and why does father leave us then at such a time of night as this, so very incompletely dressed? Dear father is and always was the most methodical of men, but sees invariable rule to go to bed at 10:30. What strange occurrence can it be that calls dear father from his rest at such a time of night as this, so very incompletely dressed? So very incompletely dressed at such a time of night. The pirates of despair.
Yes, we're the pirates of despair.
Frederick here, oh joy, oh rapture, summon your men and effect their capture.
Frederick, save us.
Beautiful Mabel, I would if I could, but I am not able.
He's telling the truth, he is not able.
With base deceit you worked upon our feelings. Revenge is sweet and flavors all our dealings. With courage rare and resolution manly, for death prepare, unhappy General Stanley.
Is he to die, unshriven, unannealed?
Oh, spare him.
Will no one in his cause a weapon wield?
Oh, spare him.
Yes, we are here, though hitherto concealed.
Oh, rapture.
Lord, to our powers, pirates, quickly yield.
Oh, rapture.
We triumph now, oh well we trow. Our hope of glory is not short. No pirate band will take its stand at the central railroad.
To gain a brief advantage you've contrived, but your proud triumph will not be long-lived.
Don't say you're orphans, for we know that came.
On your allegiance we've a stronger claim. We charge you yield. We charge you yield in Queen Victoria's name.
You do.
We do. We charge you yield in Queen Victoria's name.
We yield at once with humbled mien, because with all our faults we love our Queen.
Yes, yes, with all their faults they love their Queen.
face them at the bar.
One moment, let me tell you who they are. They are no members of the common throng. They are all noblemen who have gone wrong. They are all noblemen who have gone wrong.
No Englishman unmoved that statement hears, because with all our faults we love our house of peers. I pray you pardon me, ex-pirate king. Peers will be peers, and youth will have its fling. Resume your ranks and legislative duties, and take my daughters, all of whom are beauties.
Poor wandering ones, who ye have surely strayed, take heart of grace, your steps retrace. Poor wandering ones, if such poor love as ours can help you find true peace of mind, why take it
Poor wandering one,
Wandering one, wandering one, wandering one, take heart, take heart.
End of Act 2. End of opera The Pirates of Penzance, or The Slave of Duty, by William S. Gilbert and Sir Arthur Sullivan. Act 1 of The Pirates of Penzance. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Pirates of Penzance, or The Slave of Duty, by William S. Gilbert and Sir Arthur Sullivan. The Pirates of Penzance, or The Slave of Duty. Dramatis Personae. Frederick, recorded by
Karen Savage.
Major General Stanley, recorded by
Kevin S. Mellis.
The Pirate King, recorded by
Stephen Carney.
Samuel, his lieutenant, recorded by
Phil Chenevert.
Sergeant of Police, recorded by
John Fricker.
Mabel, Edith, Kate, and Isabel, General Stanley's daughters, recorded by
Catherine Eastman.
Angela.
Iswa. Gemma Blythe.
Ruth, a pirate maid of all work, recorded by
Liberty Stump.
Chorus of Pirates, Police, and General Stanley's daughters, recorded by
Todd.
Miriam Esther Goldman.
Helen Song.
Jane Smith.
Karen Savage.
Stephen Carney.
Catherine Eastman.
John Fricker.
Angela.
Liberty Stump.
Narration by Julie Van Wallichem. Act 1. Scene: a rocky seashore on the coast of Cornwall. In the distance is a calm sea, on which a schooner is lying at anchor. rock left sloping down to left centre of stage. Under these rocks is a cavern, the entrance to which is seen at first entrance left. A natural arch of rock occupies the right centre of the stage. As the curtain rises, groups of pirates are discovered, some drinking, some playing cards. Samuel, the pirate lieutenant, is going from one group to another, filling the cups from a flask. Frederick is seated in a despondent attitude at the back of the scene. Ruth kneels at his feet.
Pour, oh, pour the pirate sherry, fill, oh, fill the pirate glass. And to make us more than merry, let the pirate power pass.
For today our pirate prentice rises from indenture freed. Strong his arm and keen his scent is, he's a pirate now indeed.
Here's good luck to Frederick's ventures, Frederick's out of his indentures.
2 and 20 now he's rising, and alone he's fit to fly, which we're bent on signalizing with unusual revelry.
Here's good luck to Frederick's ventures, Frederick's out of his indentures. Pour, oh, pour the pirate sherry, fill, oh, fill the pirate glass, and to make us more than merry, let the pirate power pass.
Frederick rises and comes forward with Pirate King, who enters.
Yes, Frederick. From today, you rank as a full-blown member of our band.
Hurrah! My friends, I thank you all from my heart for your kindly wishes. Would that I could repay them as they deserve.
What do you mean?
Today I am out of my indentures, and today I leave you forever.
But this is quite unaccountable. A keener hand as scuttling a Cunarder or cutting out a white star never shipped a handspike.
Yes, I have done my best for you. And why? It was my duty under my indentures, and I am the slave of duty. As a child I was regularly apprenticed to your band. It was through an error. No matter, the mistake was ours, not yours, and I was in honour bound by it.
An error? What error?
Ruth rises and comes forward.
I may not tell you. It would reflect upon my well-loved Ruth.
Nay, dear master, my mind has long been gnawed by the cankering tooth of mystery. Better have it out at once. When Frederick was a little lad, he proved so brave and daring. His father thought he'd prentice him to some career seafaring. I was, alas, his nursery maid, and so it fell to my lot to take and bind the promising boy apprentice to a pilot. A life not bad for a hardy lad, though surely not a high lot. Though I'm a nurse, you might do worse than make your boy a pilot. I was a stupid nursery maid, on breakers always steering, and I did not catch the word aright through being hard of hearing, mistaking my instructions which within my brain did gyrate. I took and bound this promising boy apprentice to a pirate. A sad mistake it was to make, and doom him to a vile lot. I bound him to a pirate you, instead of to a pilot. I soon found out beyond all doubt the scope of this disaster, but I hadn't the face to return to my place and break it to my master. A nursery maid is not afraid of what you people call work, so I made up my mind to go as a kind of piratical maid of all work. And that is how you find me now, a member of your shy lot, which you wouldn't have found had he been bound apprentice to a pilot.
Oh, pardon, Frederick, pardon. Kneels.
Rise, sweet one. I have long pardoned you.
Ruth rises. The two words were so much alike.
They were. They still are, though years have rolled over their heads. But this afternoon my obligation ceases. Individually I love you all with affection unspeakable, but collectively I look upon you with a disgust that amounts to absolute detestation. Oh, pity me, my beloved friends, for such is my sense of duty that once out of my indentures I shall feel myself bound to devote myself heart and soul to your extermination.
Poor lad! Poor lad!
All weep.
Well, Frederick, if you conscientiously feel that it is your duty to destroy us, we cannot blame you for acting on that conviction. Always act in accordance with the dictates of your conscience, my boy, and chance the consequences.
Besides, we can offer you but little temptation to remain with us. We don't seem to make piracy pay. I'm sure I don't know why, but we don't.
I know why, but alas, I mustn't tell you. It wouldn't be right.
Why not, my boy? It's only 11:30, and you are one of us until the clock strikes 12.
True, and until then you are bound to protect our interests.
Hear, hear!
Well then, it is my duty as a pirate to tell you that you are too tender-hearted. For instance, you make a point of never attacking a weaker party than yourselves, and when you attack a stronger party you invariably get thrashed.
There is some truth in that.
Then again, you make a point of never molesting an orphan.
Of course. We are orphans ourselves and know what it is.
Yes, but it has got about, and what is the consequence? Every one we capture says he's an orphan. The last 3 ships we took proved to be manned entirely by orphans, and so we had to let them go. One would think that Great Britain's mercantile navy was recruited solely from her orphan asylums, which we know is not the case.
But hang it all, you wouldn't have us absolutely merciless?
There's my difficulty. Until 12 o'clock I would. After 12 I wouldn't. Was ever a man placed in so delicate a situation?
And Ruth, your own Ruth, whom you love so well, and who has won her middle-aged way into your boyish heart, what is to become of her?
Oh, he will take you with him.
Well, Ruth, I feel some difficulty about you. It is true that I admire you very much, but I have been constantly at sea since I was 8 years old, and yours is the only woman's face I have seen during that time. I think it is a sweet face.
It is. Oh, it is.
I say I think it is. That is my impression. But as I have never had an opportunity of comparing you with other women, it is just possible I may be mistaken.
True.
What a terrible thing it would be if I were to marry this innocent person, and then find out that she is, on the whole, plain.
Oh, Ruth is very well indeed.
Yes, there are the remains of a fine woman about Ruth.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Then I will not be so selfish as to take her from you. In justice to her, and in consideration for you, I will leave her behind.
Hand Ruth to King.
No, Frederick, this must not be. We are rough men, who lead a rough life. But we are not so utterly heartless as to deprive thee of thy love. I think I am right in saying that there is not one here who would deprive thee of this inestimable treasure, for all the world holds dear.
Loudly.
Not one.
No, I thought there wasn't. Keep thy love, Frederick. Keep thy love.
Hands it back to Frederick.
You're very good, I'm sure.
Exit Ruth.
Well, it's the top of the tide, and we must be off. Farewell, Frederick. When your process of extermination begins, let our deaths be as swift and painless as you can conveniently make them.
I will. By the love I have for you, I swear it. Would that you could render this extermination unnecessary by accompanying me back to civilization.
No, Frederick, it cannot be. I don't think much of our profession, but contrasted with respectability, it is comparatively honest. No, Frederick, I shall live and die a pirate king. Oh, better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly than play a sanctimonious part with a pirate head and a pirate heart. Away to the cheating world go you, where pirates all are well-to-do. But I'll be true to the song I sing, and live and die a pirate king. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king.
You are a pirate king.
And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king.
It is hurrah for the pirate king, hurrah for the pirate king.
When I sally forth to seek my prey, I help myself in a royal way. I sink a few more ships, it's true, than a well-bred monarch ought to do. But many a king on a first-class throne, if he wants to call his crown his own, must manage somehow to get through more dirty work than ever I do. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king.
You are a pirate king.
And it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king.
It is hurrah for the pirate king, hurrah for the pirate king.
Exeunt all except Frederick. Enter Ruth.
Oh, take me with you. I cannot live if I am left behind.
Ruth, I will be quite candid with you. You are very dear to me, as you know, but I must be circumspect. You see, you are considerably older than I. A lad of 21 usually looks for a wife of 17.
A wife of 17? You will find me a wife of 1,000.
No, but I shall find you a wife of 47, and that is quite enough. Ruth, tell me candidly and without reserve, compared with other women, how are you?
I will answer you truthfully, master. I have a slight cold, but otherwise I am quite well.
I am sorry for your cold, but I was referring rather to your personal appearance. Compared with other women, are you beautiful?
Bashfully.
I have been told so, dear master.
Ah, but lately?
Oh, no, years and years ago.
What do you think of yourself?
It is a delicate question to answer, but I think I am a fine woman.
That is your candid opinion?
Yes, I should be deceiving you if I told you otherwise.
Thank you, Ruth. I believe you, for I am sure you would not practice on my inexperience. I wish to do the right thing, and if, I say if, you are really a fine woman, your age shall be no obstacle to our union.
Shakes hands with her. Chorus of girls heard in the distance, climbing over rocky mountain, etc.
Hark! Surely I hear voices. Who has ventured to approach our all but inaccessible lair? Can it be Custom House? No, it does not sound like Custom House.
Aside.
Confusion! It is the voices of young girls. If he should see them, I am lost.
Looking off.
By all that's marvellous! A bevy of beautiful maidens.
Aside.
Lost, lost, lost!
How lovely, how surpassingly lovely is the plainest of them! What grace, what delicacy, what refinement! And Ruth told me she was beautiful.
Oh, false one, you have deceived me.
I have deceived you.
Yes, deceived me. You told me you were fair as gold.
And master, am I not so?
And now I see you're plain and old.
I'm sure I'm not a jot so.
Upon my innocence you play.
I'm not the one to plot so.
Your face is lined, your hair is grey.
It's gradually got so.
Faithless woman, to deceive me, I who trusted so.
Master, master, do not leave me, hear me ere I go.
Faithless woman,
master, master,
faithless woman,
master, master,
faithless
do not
woman,
leave me,
to
do not
deceive
leave
me,
I
trusted so. Faithless woman, to deceive me, I trusted so.
My love without reflecting, oh, do not be rejecting. Take a maiden tender, her affection raw and green, at very highest rating has been accumulating. Summer 17, summer 17.
Yes, your former master saved you from disaster. Your love would be uncomfortably fervid, it is clear.
My love
If, as you are state,
has been
accumulating
47
years.
47 years.
Faithless woman, to deceive me, I who trusted so. Faithless woman, to deceive me, I who trusted so. What shall I do? Before these gentle maidens I dare not show in this alarming costume. No, no, I must remain in close concealment until I can appear in decent clothing.
Hide in cave as they enter, climbing over the rocks and through arched rock.
passes, climb the mighty windlasses till the bright seashore they gain. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure, hail it as a true ally, though we perish by and by. Hail it as a true ally, though we perish by and by. Every moment brings a treasure of its own especial pleasure, though the moments quickly die. Greet them gaily as they fly. Greet them gaily as they fly. Though the moments quickly die, greet them gaily as they fly.
Far away from toil and care, reveling in fresh sea air, here we live and reign alone, in a world that's all our own. Here in this our rocky den, far away from mortal men, we'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please.
We'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting pleasure. Hail it as a true ally, though we perish by and by. Hail it as a true ally, though we perish by and by. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting pleasure. Hail it as a true ally, true
What a picturesque spot! I wonder where we are.
And I wonder where Papa is. We have left him ever so far behind.
Oh, he will be here presently. Remember, poor Papa is not as young as we are, and we came over a rather difficult country.
But how thoroughly delightful it is to be so entirely alone. Why, in all probability, we are the first human beings who ever set foot on this enchanting spot.
Except the mermaids. It's the very place for mermaids.
Who are only human beings down to the waist.
And who can't be said strictly to set foot anywhere. Tails they may, but feet they cannot.
But what shall we do until Papa and the servants arrive with the luncheon?
We are quite alone, and the sea is as smooth as glass. Suppose we take off our shoes and stockings and paddle.
Yes,
the very thing.
They prepare to carry out the suggestion. They have all taken off one shoe when Frederick comes forward from cave.
Stop, ladies, pray.
Amen.
I had intended not to intrude myself upon your notice in this effective but alarming costume. But under these peculiar circumstances, it is my bounden duty to inform you that your proceedings will not be unwitnessed.
But who are you, sir, speak?
I am a pirate.
A pirate horror.
Ladies, do not shun me. This evening I renounce my vile profession. And to that end, O pure and peerless maidens, O blushing buds of ever-blooming beauty, I sore at heart, I sore at heart, implore your kind assistance.
How pitiful his tale,
How rare his beauty,
How pitiful his tale, how rare his beauty.
Oh, is there not one maiden breast which does not feel the moral beauty of making worldly interest subordinate to sense of duty? Who would not give up willingly all matrimonial ambition to rescue such an one as I from his unfortunate position, from his position, to rescue such an one as I from his unfortunate position.
Alas, there's not one maiden breast which seems to feel the moral beauty of making worldly interest subordinate to sense of duty.
Oh, is there not one maiden here whose homely face and bad complexion have caused all hope to disappear of ever winning man's affection? Of such a one, if such there be, I swear by heaven's arch above you, if you will cast your eyes on me, however plain you be, I love you, however plain you be. If you will cast your eyes on me, however plain you be, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Alas, there's not one maiden here whose homely face and bad complexion have caused all hope to disappear of ever winning man's affection.
Not one,
No, no, not one.
not one.
No, no. 'Tis Mabel.
No sister's deaf to pity's name, for shame. It's true that he has gone astray, but pray, is that a reason good and true? Why you should obey if to pity's name?
The question is, had he not been a thing of beauty, would she be swayed by quite as keen a sense of duty?
For shame, for shame, for shame. Poor wandering one, for thou hast surely strayed. Take heart of grace, thy steps retrace. Poor wandering one, poor wandering one. If such poor love as mine can help thee find true peace of mind, my dear
Mabel and Frederick go to mouth of cave and converse. Edith beckons her sisters, who form a semicircle around her.
What ought we to do? Gentle sisters say, propriety we know, says we ought to stay, while sympathy exclaims, free them from your tether, play at other games, leave them here together.
Her kiss me any day, be yours my dear or mine, let her make her hay, while the sun doth shine. Let us compromise, our hearts are not of leather, let us shut our eyes and talk about the weather.
Yes, yes, let's talk about the weather. How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising very high, continue high, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday, tomorrow it may pour again, I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I don't know why that we shall have a warm July, tomorrow it may pour again, I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why that we shall have a warm July, tomorrow it may pour again, I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why that we shall have a warm July.
Exceeding beauty, did the meeting close her eyes on waking sadness, to dream of such exceeding gladness?
Ah yes, this is exceeding gladness.
How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising very high, continue high, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday, tomorrow it may pour again, I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why that we shall have a warm July, tomorrow it may pour again, I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why that we shall have a warm July, tomorrow it may pour again, I
Did
hear the country
ever
wants some rain.
pirate roll his soul in guilty dreaming, and wake to find that soul with peace and virtue beaming?
How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising very high, continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday, continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday. How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising very high,
His mission,
but yesterday to
find himself betrothed to Lady of the Stay, we must not lose our senses. Men who stick at no offences will anon be here. Piracy, their dreadful trade is. Pray you get you hence, young ladies, while the coast is clear.
No, we must not lose our senses. If they stick at no offences, we should not be here. Piracy, their dreadful trade is. Nice companions for young ladies, let us Too late, too late.
Here's a first-rate opportunity to get married with impunity and indulge in the felicity of unbounded domesticity. You shall quickly be personified, conjugally matrimonified, by a doctor of divinity who is located in this vicinity.
We have missed our opportunity of escaping with impunity, so farewell to the felicity of our maiden domesticity. We shall quickly be personified, conjugally matrimonified, by a doctor of divinity who is located in this vicinity.
By a doctor of divinity who resides in this vicinity. By a doctor of divinity. Of divinity.
Coming forward.
Monsters, ere your pirate caravansary proceed against our will to wed us all, just bear in mind that we are wards in chancery, and father is a major general.
We'd better pause, our danger may befall. Their father is a major general.
Yes,
Yes, yes, he is a major general.
Yes, yes, I am a major general.
For he is a major general.
He is hurrah for the major general.
And it is a glorious thing to be a major general.
It is hurrah for the major general, hurrah for the major general.
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the keys of England, and I quote the facts historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. Above binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lotto news. Lotto news? Lotto news, lotto news. Aha, got it. With many trivial facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
With many trivial facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many trivial facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many trivial facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings animalculous. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general.
I know a mythic history, King Arthur's and Sacaradox. I answer hard acrostics, have a pretty taste for paradox. I quote an elegiacs, all the crimes of Helioglobulus and conics. I can flow peculiarities parabolous. I can tell undoubted Raphaels from Gerardel's and Zophanies. I know the croaking chorus from the frogs of Aristophanes, and I can hum the fugue of which I've heard the music's dinner for. Dinner for? Dinner for? Dinner for? Dinner for? Dinner for? No. I got it! And whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense pinafore.
And whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense pinafore. And whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense pinafore. And whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense pinafore. Then I can write a washing bill in Babylonic uniform and give you every detail of Correcticus's uniform. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general. In fact, when I know what is meant by mamelon and ravelin, when I can tell at sight a Mauser rifle from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm all weary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat, when I have learned what progress has been made in modern gunnery, when I know more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery, in short, when I base smattering of elemental strategy. Strategy? 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 Oh, come on. Strategy. No, that would... Got it! You'll say a better major general has never strategy! You say a better major general has never strategy! You say a better major general has never strategy! You say a better major general has never strategy! For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century. But still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general. And still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general. And now that I've introduced myself, I should like to have some idea of what is going on.
Oh, Papa, we...
Permit me. I'll explain in 2 words. We propose to marry your daughters.
Dear me!
Against our wills, Papa, against our wills.
Oh, but you mustn't do that! May I ask? This is a picturesque uniform, but I'm not familiar with it. What are you?
We are all single gentlemen.
Yes, I gathered that. Anything else?
No, nothing else.
Papa, don't believe them. They are pirates, the famous Pirates of Penzance.
The Pirates of Penzance! I've often heard of them.
All except this gentleman,
indicating Frederick,
who was a pirate once, but who is out of his indentures today, and who means to lead a blameless life evermore.
But wait a bit! I object to pirates as sons-in-law.
We object to major generals as fathers-in-law. But we waive that point. We do not press it. We look over it.
Aside.
Ha! An idea.
Aloud.
And do you mean to say that you would deliberately rob me of these, the sole remaining props of my old age, and leave me to go through the remainder of my life, unfriended, unprotected, and alone?
Well, yes, that's the idea.
Tell me, have you ever known what it is to be an orphan?
Disgusted.
Oh, dash it all! Here we are again!
I ask you, have you ever known what it is to be an orphan?
Orphan.
Yes, orphan. Have you ever known what it is to be one?
I say, orphan!
Disgusted.
Orphan, orphan, orphan.
Turning away.
I don't think we quite understand one another. I ask you, have you ever known what it is to be an orphan? And you say, orphan. As I understand you, you are merely repeating the word orphan to show that you understand me.
I didn't repeat the word orphan.
Pardon me, you did indeed.
I only repeated it once.
True, but you repeated it.
But not often.
Stop! I think I see where we are getting confused. When you said orphan, did you mean orphan, a person who has lost his parents, or orphan frequently?
Ah, I beg your pardon. I see what you mean. Frequently.
Ah, you said orphan frequently.
No, only once.
Irritated.
Exactly! You said orphan frequently only once. O man of dark and dismal fate, forego your cruel employ. Have pity on my lonely state. I am an orphan boy.
An orphan boy.
An orphan boy.
How sad. An orphan boy.
These children whom you see are all that I can call my own.
Poor fellow.
Take them away from me, and I shall be indeed alone.
Poor fellow.
If pity you can feel, leave me my soul remaining joy. See, at your feet they kneel, your hearts you cannot steal, against the sad, sad tale of the lonely orphan boy.
Poor fellow. See, at our feet they kneel, our hearts we cannot steal, against the sad, sad tale of the lonely orphan boy.
The orphan boy.
The orphan boy. See, at our feet they kneel, our hearts we cannot steal, against the tale of the lonely orphan boy. Poor fellow.
I'm telling a terrible story, but it doesn't diminish my glory, for they would have taken my daughters over the billowy waters if I hadn't in elegant diction indulged in innocent fiction, which is not in the same category as telling a regular terrible story.
If he's telling a terrible story, we shall tell a delicious story. It's one of the truest stories that's ever been known in these waters. It is easy in elegant diction to call it an innocent fiction, but it comes in the same category as telling a regular terrible story. It's easy in elegant diction to call it an innocent fiction, but it comes in the same category as telling a regular story.
Although our dark career sometimes involves the crime of stealing, we rather think that we are not altogether void of feeling. Although we live by strife, we're always sorry to begin it. For what we ask is life without a touch of poetry in it.
Hail, poetry, thou hand-born maid, thou gildest steel of pirate's trade. Hail, glowing fount of sentiment, all hail, divining Orient.
You may go, for you're at liberty. Our pirate rules protect you, and honorary members of our band, we do elect you.
For he is an orphan boy.
He is so often the orphan boy.
And it sometimes is a useful thing to be an orphan boy.
It is so often the orphan boy, so often the orphan boy.
Happy day with joyous leap, they will away and marry me.
Oh, happy day with joyous leap, they will away and marry me.
Should it be full of spacious mead, as sisters all the bridesmaids be.
Should it be full of fishes, sisters all the bridesmaids be. Oh, happy day with joyous leap, they will away and marry me. Should it be full of fishes,
Sisters all the bridesmaids be.
should it be full of fishes, sisters all will bridesmaids be.
Oh, master, hear one word I do implore you. Remember Ruth, your Ruth who kneels before you.
Yes, remember Ruth who kneels before you.
Away, you did deceive me.
Away you did deceive him.
Oh, do not leave me.
Oh, do not leave her.
Away, you grieve me.
Away you grieve him.
I wish you'd leave me.
We wish you'd leave him. Preserve the magnanimity in this way to lace and liberty. Never was such opportunity to get married with impunity, but they give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. Though a doctor of divinity who's located in his vicinity.
Preserve the magnanimity, get us ready to lace and dignity. Never was such opportunity to get married with impunity, but they give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. Through a doctor of divinity who's located in his vicinity.
But they gave up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. But they gave up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. For a doctor of divinity, a doctor of divinity, a who resides in this vicinity, the doctor resides in this vicinity.
Girls and Major General go up rocks, while pirates indulge in a wild dance of delight on stage. The Major General produces a British flag, and the Pirate King in arched rock produces a black flag with skull and crossbones. Enter Ruth, who makes a final appeal to Frederick, who cast her from him. End of Act 1.